Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Ryan
and Dalmar.
We are back. Another episode of Cxmmentary. We got Chris in from Atlanta.
Yeah,
Chris traveled
what's
over.
good?
What's going on?
You know, chilling, LA life.
Yeah, LA is dope.
I was like, today's like one of the less sunny days too.
Yeah, it's like probably the worst
Yeah.
day to like. Well, not the worst day to experience LA, but like the one that doesn't like showcase how it is normally.
Like a random Thursday kind of thing.
I think it's perfect.
You think it's perfect? Okay.
Yeah, but it's been hot.
Well,
Like 94 degrees wherever you go.
in ATL.
In Atlanta, we went to New York.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
it was
damn near
hot.
100 in New York.
It was hot in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, around here, like, especially like this side of the mountains, it's like 80 degrees tops. Unless you're in like downtown. So
And the ocean always make it cool.
yeah.
They always get the breeze. I was like, it's never too hot, but it's never too cold. But
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
literally, we
like-
came yesterday. It was like a perfect day.
Exactly.
Like,
Yesterday was perfect. Yeah, I landed at like 4
yeah, you
or
did.
something.
Okay.
Yeah, went to get some tacos.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it was dope.
Yeah.
But nah, so the whole reason Chris came out is like we have some stuff coming up in the next few weeks, and I just feel like the last few years we haven't done a good job of like telling our story. We've been talking about like a lot of the work that we do, but it's like a project base, right? Like, hey, community just did this or community just did that. But like as far as like why we got started, how we got started, like how we plan to continue going, I think a lot of those questions are uneasy. 'Cause I remember I meet a lot of people and they'll be like, yeah, bro, we hear a lot about community, but like we don't know anything about like y'all. And I was like, yeah, I want to stop that.
Fair.
No, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess, same thing, man. It's nobody knows what we do for real. For the
Yeah.
most part, especially family and like friends. It's like, yo, what do you do?
Yeah, I think it's probably like twofold, right? Like starting from like the idea of esports and gaming and how that isn't necessarily well understood, right? To like be an operator in that space, and then like taking in the media side, right? And people don't really normally, even myself for a long time, didn't have like a understanding of like how the whole world operates, right? So I think it kind of makes sense that, you know, people would be like, this sounds dope, but like what
Like
is
everything
it, you know?
everything we've done has basically been invisible, right? It's like you do virtual live streams on Twitch,
Right.
It's you're in media. It's all like it's nothing. It's tangible,
Right.
And so it was like this whole time is like again. I think a lot of people are congratulate or they're like, "Yo, it's been dope to watch y'all do whatever it is that you're doing."
Yeah.
But I notice in return if like I'll go out somewhere and someone's like kind of like introing me on behalf.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, we can go with that. Like, it kind of works.
Hey,
Like,
no,
that
that's
works.
fact.
Right.
Like,
It's
Yeah.
never the right thing.
it's like sometimes it's esports, sometimes it's media, sometimes
Yeah.
it's like these are the HBCU guys.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
it's e-gaming.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
you
like,
know?
then it's like, yo, they're the e-gaming guys. And I'm like,
It's like, yo, this
Sure.
my boy Chris, man. Esports, gaming,
Yeah.
whatever y'all need. Like, pay
and
to
then
it.
usually on the flip side of that, they'll be like, yo, I got a birthday party coming up. Can you like set up some consoles? I'm like,
Yeah.
it's mad
Bring your
disrespectful.
little
Right.
video game thing.
Right.
So anyway, it's like it's just trying to like fill that gap because I think there has been a lot. Not only that's been done, but like there's a lot of context to the work as well. And so just trying to find a way to like visually showcase that a little bit better. I mean, it started with like commentary, right? And
Yeah.
getting to hear different perspectives. But it is interesting, bro. Like I think it even goes back to like how we met you originally.
Yeah.
Like I think we talk about these things, but people aren't aware that like, yo, a lot of this started like downtown Atlanta, like
Right.
middle of the pandemic. It was like 8
Yeah.
people working this kind of random warehouse.
Right.
It was a gaming lounge. Like shout out to Access Replay, you know?
Yeah.
But like that whole part of this story is like fuzzy, but it's like on the outside, we're like, yo, we did some of Offset.
Yeah.
And like we did a lot of things along the way and just trying to close the gap.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of that shit happened early, too. And I never realized, like, how young we were either.
Yeah, looking back at it, it's
Actually,
like,
wow.
like
Yeah.
26, 27,
Yeah.
28. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. Like,
It's like everybody you come across said it. Like, they'd be like, yeah, y'all know, like, you know what y'all are doing at this young of an age? But at the time, like, being in it, it's just like, you know, it's normal shit. Like, we're just
Yeah.
doing, you know, what we want to do pretty much.
For sure.
But then
Yeah.
think about it, bro. Well, I was 25. You're like 26.
yeah.
2019, 20.
Yeah. That whole time is fuzzy to me. Like the
It is.
2020, like, you
Well,
know,
that's what's
which
like-
is like, what, 5 years ago now? Like, that's crazy.
Well, like it goes back a little further. So I think the context. So I moved to Atlanta in 2015, and so like the first few years I was there, I was like working in just like technology, IT, like IT sales, whatever. But I was always interested in entertainment, and
Yeah.
so around 2018 is 17 is when I think I met Chris for the first time, and it was this idea initially like, yo, how to just build community around entertainment. The first way we did that was like through music.
Right.
So like there's this whole period even like that predates community, because a lot of times like community kind of just showed up. It was like this thing, but it's like what predates the fact that we had a community was before that there's an organization called Nexus, and under that we were doing like these monthly shows in Atlanta and like bringing in anywhere from like 5 to 10 unsigned like emerging growing hip hop artists, and we would just do shows, bro, like bars, random pop up bars. First, it was like off 285 in like Dorville, then it was downtown on Edgewood. Then we went out to like
Roswell.
Like Roswell area. Like there's this dope black owned venue that had like a stage built into it. And around that time is when we started to meet like the Kenny Masons of the world. And that's why like even now we're like, yo, we want to work with Kenny. It's like a lot of people don't know, like Kenny was doing shows with us like back in like 2019.
He definitely performed. No, it was no stage either. It was like a flat surface floor, and everybody was like on that same level. Yeah, the artist was in the middle performing.
Yeah.
Kenny Mason definitely performed.
So y'all think without the pandemic, would that have been the focus more so than gaming?
I think it would have kept going.
Inevitable?
I think it would have kept going. I think ultimately it became what is now community media, like in its essence. But I think music was a big focus, and I think that's still a big part of like our story. But like way back then, it was more so around like, yo, how can we work with who's next in up coming out of Atlanta? So it was like Deontay Hitchcock. It was Metro Mars. We did shows with we did like a Black History Month show of like Little Scrappy. And then that graduated from like the Edgewood venues to Aisle 5. And then we went from Aisle 5 to like Buckhead Theater. And I think that was the first time that we ever had a brand approach us and was like, yo, we want to give y'all, that was like what, maybe $20,000-$30,000 to like put on this event. And that's when we did like this Cinco de Mayo event at Buckhead Theater with Deontay Hitchcock and Duke Deuce. And it was like a brand integration. And we're like, yo, there's actually something here.
Right.
And that was the precursor. I was like the kind of the final stint of that journey. Cause that was like 2020.
Yeah.
Was then the virtual concerts that we was doing. And that's like when we met you.
Right.
Low keys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was a whole precursor before community was even like a word.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it kind of worked in our favor though. Cause I mean, nothing happens really by happenstance, but yeah, the pandemic definitely help pivot to something larger, and then it's like later you're able to still bring on the core crux of it, which is music. And so we're still doing music today, still doing concerts.
Yeah, that's the thing too. So like
big ass concerts too, bro. We had Pusha T.
Yeah, but that's like that's too far. You're going too far in the future. You're like that's not.
We're jumping ahead here.
That's what I'm saying. Is like the pandemic's not why we got into gaming, right? So when I was in grad school at Georgia State, like I've been interested in gaming and like gaming culture my whole life, right?
Right.
But I was in grad school, and this was like 2017 is when I got in. I was learning. I went to Georgia State to do sports administration because I was interested to figure out like I want to be an NBA agent.
Right.
But through that process, Turner was doing a lot of like gaming broadcasts on TBS, and we started talking about gaming in our grad program. I'm like, yo, I never thought about gaming from this perspective that like they're talking about it in school.
Right.
And so at the same time, while I was in grad school, I just went through the process. Shout out to Alpha Phi Alpha. Like we did alumni chapter, but this being said, in like late 2018, early 2019, I was actually in preparation for this, was like going through my Instagram and like trying to remember. We did a Saturday morning volunteer session with this school right across the street from Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And me and the kids got to talk about like video games. And these kids were going to school. They were in 8th grade in APS, like middle school. And they were like, yo, we wish our school had esports like the other schools. And it was like the first time I was like, yo, this is like really, really interesting. So like in grad school, was like doing this thing about gaming. But then I'm like, yo, these young black kids are here. And they're like, yo, we want to get into gaming, but like our schools don't have this stuff.
Right.
So like it was like mid 2018, 2019 where I like started to ideate. And this is the same time the shows and stuff are going on. And like, yo, I think gaming could be like a huge pipeline for our community, but at the time didn't know what that really meant. And really used the rest of my master's program at Georgia State to kind of like formalize what ultimately, you know, became like a major part of our business plan strategy and like how we're going to actually introduce community to society. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there, I never heard about the Alpha Phi Alpha thing.
Yeah,
like the
because
school
actually
thing.
I went the picture's still up on my profile too, and I'm like literally sitting there's like three kids and it's me because that's like how the day was broken up, and it was really even what was made it more funny in that scenario is like the two kids there, they were really upset because they played League of Legends, and that was like literally the first time I heard about League of Legends, and they put me on.
Right.
And then in reverse, I then in my grad program started doing more research. I'm like, yeah, wait, they got esports leagues? Like, they got at the time, all that was brand new.
Oh
Right.
yeah, y'all did the TNT thing, right? The
Yeah, like
tour.
we had class at TNT, so like I got to like be really, really close to it. But I think a big thing was like November 2018, DreamHack came to Atlanta, and that was the first DreamHack in Metro Atlanta. And when I saw it, I was like, oh wow, this is interesting, bro.
Right.
Like I know for a fact nobody that I know is talking about this.
Right. Yeah. That was the same time frame, I want to say 2018, 2019, where the investment from Madison Square Garden and Magic Johnson, Drake, Dan Gilbert, Shaq, those were all kind of showing up, right? And starting to like invest in the space. But it's still, I think, from like more of like the,
Snoop Dogg.
you know, oh, Snoop too?
Well, Snoop was invested in FaZe.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't, I think, until 2020, right, where attention kind of was pivoted towards it and people started realizing, oh, wait a minute, right? Like there is this bigger industry here, right? That's untapped. There's, you know, opportunities, you know, jobs, you know, all kinds of stuff that goes alongside this, right? And obviously y'all were there to like kind of capture like that kind of moment where it's finally kind of coming together.
Yeah.
At least from my perspective.
Yeah, I feel like we were right on time. I feel like though, like even with like the FaZe stuff, that's when a lot of like they started obviously to rack up all the black hip hop artists. So again, like you see Offset, and like Offset was one of the original streamers. Like a lot of people don't know that. Like a lot of rappers are streaming now, but I guess Offset was like one of the first ones to stream.
Yeah, he was on what, Caffeine? I think at the time,
Yeah, and so you learned about that I learned about that from FaZe, and that was like one of the first events, that was like was that the first event we did?
Was that the one where
the second?
They sent a check for charity? Okay.
It was like in February 2020. I was like, going back to it was like, again, the why it was, all right, cool. We know for a fact that our community's tapped into like gaming. Now we know for a fact that there's like this huge avenue and like opportunity, and it's like, how do you bridge that gap, bro? Like, what's the challenge? What is the lack of resources, the lack of information, like whatever it is like, let's figure out what that challenge is, and like let's be the organization to kind of bring bring these two worlds together,
right?
And so to that point, like all the FaZe stuff was going crazy, and they had came out to Atlanta because it was like the CDL Invitational that weekend was happening. So as a part of that, they did like their party on Friday night. But like that next morning, we ended up bringing like 200 kids back to Access Replay. Yeah. And they went through like this gaming workshop about like careers and everything within the video game industry. And then Offset came back the next morning, and like he actually spent time with the kids. And then we sent the kids to the actual arena so they could watch the Call of Duty tournament. And that was like, I think the first moment we're like, yo, this could be a thing.
Right.
I was like, yo, I think not only do you have the hip hop, you have sports, you have like really a way to like introduce a new way of life to our audience. And I was like, yo, we could play a major part in that. That's what we want to do.
Yeah. And you mentioned bridging the gap, right? And I think, you know, obviously pandemic coming in exacerbated, you know, an issue that, you know, a lot of people probably don't think about, right? Is like, oh, you know, you're taking school from home, right? But you need proper internet, proper laptop, proper computers, right? And that wasn't, you know, for a lot of minority kids, that's not what they have, right? So I don't know if y'all want to go into like the whole tech for COVID
you was there too.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, I kind of showed up like what was going on. I was like, you know, what is this? You know?
Yeah. Now, Tech for COVID was dope. We we partnered with a group called HBCU Heroes, and that was ran by a guy. Damn, I'm bad with names. What's his name? George.
I'm gonna be real. They never sent us the funds.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, like there was a long message as to why they weren't going to give us the money, and I was
Right.
like, this is what being a business owner is all about.
Yeah, that was definitely the first.
That was the first little,
Yeah.
little finagle, right?
Yeah.
Like, I guess shout out to them. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a
Was
learning
that- was
moment.
that-
It was a
Nah,
learning
yeah,
moment.
exactly.
Was it the first big L?
Learn from it. It was.
Well, not
At
like
that
an
time-
LL,
At
but
that
like,
time,
yeah.
it was big.
Yeah.
I mean, we took it in one. But
Yeah.
at the time it was definitely big. But no, man, we still raised a lot of money, about $180,000.
But you gotta tell people what the program
we
is.
didn't see. But yeah, it's called Tech for COVID. So Tech for COVID was a streamathon. In the city of Atlanta, they were short about 10,000 devices, I think. A lot of obviously black and brown youth didn't have access to computers, hotspots. A lot of them didn't have Wi-Fi to be able to do distance learning. And so Tech for COVID was our kind of like, I guess, our role that we decided to play.
Yeah.
And just making sure that we can have an impact there. And so, yeah, did a 24-hour streamathon. We had a lot of celebrities chime in. It was basically a mixed match between, like, we did some video gaming throughout this 24 hours. We had some fireside chats with, like, a lot of different celebrities. So, like, Dionne Warwick. I think Ryan and the CEO of United Way did an interview with Jeezy. That was pretty dope. We had, like, Anthony Anderson. Who else? I know Offset, was a part of it.
And Michael Strahan.
Shannon
Yeah.
Sharp. Yeah, it was a lot. But yeah, all these people kind of chimed in to help us raise this money to be able to provide to. I know a lot of HBCUs got some laptops. A lot of the K through 12 students in Atlanta got some laptops, and so for us that was like really big. And just to be able to see like all the celebrity buy-in, for me personally, was one of the bigger things that I saw and was like, oh shit, this can really work.
Right.
And then that kind of got us on the radar of Twitch too, because we live streamed it on Twitch
Yeah.
on their
Yeah,
platform.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think what was really eye-opening at the time was, again, like bridging the gap. And I mean, we've talked about this before on different episodes, but up until I can't remember exactly when we had like a PC that was like functioning enough to play League of Legends. And it might have maybe just been a laptop, but it wasn't until I had to be like, 10th grade at least, right? And so,
You played League of Legends in the 10th grade?
No, I didn't play like at that point in time. I'm saying like that's when we first like got the PC that was capable of it.
Okay.
And it wasn't until 2012 when I first started playing. So actually that was like just the next year. So when I was a senior, about to go to college, I started playing. But like obviously if you don't have, access to Wi-Fi, access to, these AMD Ryzen, graphics cards, like you're not being able to play this game. But yeah, this is the game that, people are making millions off of, right? So I think that's what really kind of turned me on to the whole concept was like, oh, wait a minute, like, there is like a lot of work to be done here. Yeah.
And that was the problem, is that all the money and opportunities were with PC gaming at the time. And so like we looked at like, all right, cool, a lot of our community plays, but like why don't we see us represented in like the industry? A lot of it was due to lack of access to be able to know how to code and make video games, or to be able to have the technology to be competitive enough to get a salary to compete.
Yeah.
So like after the Tech for COVID, and like Chris said, we ended up meeting the Twitch team. And I always still say to like, probably the thing that was still most exciting to us is that we were able to create, and like I always say, like our company's claim to fame, that we built the nation's first gaming and esports league for HBCUs. And so the idea around just kind of like build this, right? It was like, first you have like these high school kids that have lack of access. Then we do Tech for COVID. It's like, we can use gaming to like raise money for college kids and high school kids that have lack of access. But I was like, the next step from that is like, how do you solve this? Initial thought was like gap of kids not playing professionally, right? And then not getting access to scholarships, and HBCUs not getting funding to like build esports and video game labs. So the start of the league was like the first step, but like now looking back at that and like, the league has provided over $2 million worth of scholarships to HBCU students. We've built over 10 esports labs there. And like looking back is like, again, this whole idea of like building a business around supporting a community and like finding the balance of like helping those that are there get access. But it's like, I think the struggle along the way is when initially like you're community first. It's like, of course, people are first, but in that process, people also forget that it's a business. Right. And I think internally, there's always these internal battles of like, all right, let's say like, yo, if you get $1, does the whole dollar go to the community? Does the dollar go to the business? Does 25 cents go to the community to say? And like literally that ebb and flow. But I was like, that's probably been one of the most, I think probably like one of our biggest accomplishments was starting the league, because that started the momentum for everything else.
Yeah. I feel like, it definitely set a hell of a foundation too. Because even just thinking about like that, like we talking about access, like we were able to build labs at these schools. And so now the students get to compete, even like Howard, right? Like we built the esports lab with Verizon at Howard. And if you think about it, now the team can like compete together. Like before, it's probably 4 or 5 kids in their dorm and they're playing separately. Now they get to come together and play on a high-powered PC that gets them everything that they need. And then you throw a tournament, and then Howard comes, and then they literally win like $80,000. And playing in one of our tournaments. And so like even talking about the the $2 million, like that's a lot. Yeah. And so like to Ryan's point, it's a seesaw between like community first, or I guess I don't know, maybe putting your mask on before others.
Person next to you.
Because I think a part of the challenge, it's not even the question isn't about who gets the dollar. It's more so about the balance, right? And also understanding that in order to scale, you need dollars and cents. I think that's why when we had this approach for like community media, it's all right, cool. How do we actually build an ecosystem? Because I think now where we are in this process, right? One, still very much involved in the community and like have our foundation and nonprofit that is active in doing that work, but it's completely separate from that on the community media lens. What we saw similar to like the actual community, no pun intended, right? Is that from a Black media perspective, there was no one also talking to this audience from a consumer marketing led perspective in the same way that nobody was talking to the audience from like a community academic educational standpoint. So it's like really leveraging all of what we've been able to do these last few years to create a space where people that may have been overlooked, undervalued, called weird is like, nah, whether you're interested in academic and professional advancement or whether you're simply interested in being like entertained, is like, we want to be the place for you.
100%.
Like, I mean, because there's no other place for it when you think about it. I was even looking at, I don't know if we could talk about, can you talk about Revolt? Oh,
yeah, we've talked about it.
Not like the network. Did y'all see the Cameron thing?
As far as like with
actually
like Omar Gooden?
You haven't? Yeah. The Cameron Omar Gooden thing. I thought that was bullying.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that Revolt, and it's probably going on a tangent, but I thought that Revolt allowing Cameron to come on, like, take over the platform and tell me to stop if this is
no, I mean
getting in the way of
anything.
But
I've heard about it.
You told us that's all the same thing. Like,
no, I'm saying, but to the point of like there not being a place where for alternative Black culture, we'll call it.
Okay.
I feel like
I guess
now more than ever, this shit, what we're building, just needs to exist
for sure
because things like this are happening.
So wait,
what
happened with the thing? Like Cameron, like he was.
Well, all right. So a long time ago, Cameron he was talking about like B-list actors, and saying that they needed to get paid more. And you know, is that like they don't get respect in the film industry pretty much. And so he mentioned Omar Gooden, but his brother is Cuba Gooding Jr. So he said Omar Gooden Jr. And I guess Omar Gooden got mad and was like, "I'm not a junior," and then he started making like diss records. Cameron. So I guess later Cameron ended up like hiring him, but it was like a fake hire. He hired him for like $3,000 or something like that. To go to Miami and shoot a scene. But the movie was never coming out. So Cameron is like laughing at him the whole time. He's got like these Hispanic dudes that's like talking Spanish, but they're talking about him, like calling him fat, like they're saying the N-word too. Like, But anyway, fast forward, Cameron took over. He got a show on Revolt. So this whole the publicity stunt was that Cameron was now becoming the CEO of Revolt.
Mm-hmm.
But on that day, he released the show, and the show was him talking about Omar Gooding. And I'm like, as black media,
Yeah.
it's bullying.
Yeah.
And then
see.
you
Okay,
allow
yeah.
like
Yeah.
like it's not only is he like, if he was talking about it on this show that's just on the platform, sure.
Right.
But now he's taking on the role of CEO, which means he leads the company, which means
Yeah.
his thoughts are the thoughts of the company for the most part.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, that's just how they chose to do it, to tear another.
Okay.
Like, goddamn.
Yeah. It was,
I mean-
they took advantage of a moment.
I don't know
that's
if I'd
what-
call Omar Gooding a B-list actor.
I mean, I probably would. I mean, I never probably even heard Albie Rochi. If it wasn't for this moment, I wouldn't have. I didn't know he had a brother. I'm not even trying to just be like that. That was news to me. That was my takeaway. I was like,
Yeah,
this
I'll be
guy-
like, that's a
Gooding
compliment,
Kid has a
actually.
brother. That's- so I
Wait,
was
but
like,
you know who Omar Gooding is? No.
now I do.
Well, you never seen like a movie?
Yeah, like I probably, but I never paid attention to it.
Got
like,
you, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've never been like, oh, like I seen him in a movie, but
Right.
like, oh, that's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
never
Well, I mean-
called him. Like I never called him out by name.
Yeah, because I mean
It's
that is what it is,
That's
right?
true,
Like that's
too.
A-list. If you see
That's
their
what I'm
face,
saying,
you know
like-
the name.
Exactly.
B-list, if you see him, you're like, I know the character
know
they're
the
playing.
face.
C-list,
Yo,
you're
that's-
like,
it's bruh.
It's like, you know the
That's,
face, but you don't know the name.
that's that's you do
Yeah.
that thing.
Well,
That's
or you name the role that he played.
Right. Well, I think
Yeah.
that's B. If you can name the role and you can
Like,
know the
that's my
face, you
boy
don't
and
know the
baby
name.
boy.
Like for
Yeah.
example, like
But, like-
Jesse Usher's like he's kind of like B plus A minus.
Who?
That's really interesting.
Jesse Usher.
Yeah, bro. Like he played in the new. He was like the Will Smith on the new Independence Day movie. He has a show on Stars. Like he's like a LeBron show. But that's literally my point. Is like
Yeah.
he was big enough to be the main character in Independence Day. He's also in. You seen The Boys on Amazon?
Yeah.
He's the black fast dude.
Oh, A-Train?
A-Train.
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah,
Jesse
yeah.
Usher.
Okay.
As an example of what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, no, 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. But
You
like,
just gotta tell me the role. Like, oh, I do know that guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this makes the conversation. It helps my point.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of black media, basically, I feel like there needs to be a place where we're highlighted. You don't even have to always be like positively, but it's just like be yourself.
Yeah.
Like there's a place for everyone, and that's why like community exists.
Yeah.
Because
So
we're
wait,
not-
Cameron's the for real CEO of Revolt?
Nah, it was
Or
like
just for a day?
a one day thing.
Okay,
yeah,
fair.
so they
turned
made it a
everything
special.
pink.
Yeah, I'll be like, he should not be a CEO of anything but his own podcast.
I mean, it's, the commentary is there for somebody, but it's just like,
Yeah.
I guess for me personally, what the platform was used for, I'm like, damn, this is
Yeah.
black media.
Yeah. But at least, to your point, like, creating a space that is more kind of highlighting, covering, entertaining this whole space that is kind of blown up, right? Of, you've got your RDCs, you've got your AMPs, you've got, the Phase, Silky and Max and, all these streamers who are, more like gaming streamers who like aren't necessarily getting as much shine, right? Like obviously like they need a place to like, be celebrated.
Yeah, I mean, you have
highlighted.
athletes. You have athletes that are gamers. You have artists.
Yeah.
Like you have dope brand collaborations like Sonic
Yeah.
and Sonic the Hedgehog and Timberland
Yeah.
coming together to do stuff. So it's like,
Nike and Tekken.
yeah, Nike
Yeah.
and like bringing all of that into one place. I think it's going to be really important over the next few years.
Yeah.
So I think, like, again, looking back at it, like the intention of why we started was clear, right? Like,
Yeah.
and to be clear, the first endeavor being kind of like what is now the Community Foundation, that was a 501c3 when it started, and it still
Yeah.
is to this day. Community Media, which came about like a year and a half into the foundation, which is a completely separate for-profit entity. Like, I think a big thing sometimes, like, people still reach out to me about like the foundation, right? And I think another part of this conversation was like, one, given the clarity and distinction that like, yes, we still have a foundation, and yes, that does academic and educational work.
Yeah.
But who Community Media, specifically CXM, is, the goal vision is that the 3-letter acronym will be as recognizable as BET, MTV, VH1. And you'll know that CXM is the home for gaming, alternative culture. For you come to us for content, media, live events, experiences, access to creators. And then we're working with like really, really dope brands and partners, especially now living out here in LA. like everything's kind of like taking that next step. But I think the main thing is like ensuring the community is still like where we're focused. And to be real with you is like, it's funny because sometimes we could talk about it. Like the community itself is sometimes fickle, right? Like when we have dollars, sometimes things are great. When we don't have dollars, they're like, yo, where y'all at? It's like, we're still here. We just don't have the same amount of support that we had at that time.
We just can't give as much as we.
And so like, but in reality, what that is, that starts to bounce on like reputation, right? And to be honest, like you're not perfect. And what a lot of people don't understand when like they see a community representing organization is like deal terms. So like sometimes I'll be real, like we're not perfect. Sometimes it takes an extra few days, weeks, maybe a month to send out a payment. But people are like, yo, y'all are bad guys. It's like, bro, we haven't even got paid yet.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Like we haven't gotten
paid.
the money to send out. So like, so when I talk about balance, it's not, again, from a selfish perspective, it's having a clear communication with our community so they understand that like, yo, maybe if they didn't respond to us, it's not because they ran off with the bag. It's because, yo, they may be drowning in a whole bunch of work. And that, maybe the terms that they get to do this thing for us are shitty because they're a Black-owned business that's also small, that people are trying to leverage and take advantage of. So when I say balance, it's like finding that very, very thin line and like understanding like, yo, this is who we are. This is how it and why we're never going to change like our vision, our mission, which is to uplift Black audiences, to uplift Black creators, and to connect them in a supercharged way. And the direct beneficiaries of this are our community. Because when we're getting hired by a Verizon or by an Xbox, we're being hired to hire creators. We're being hired to create experiences for our audience.
That's what I'm doing.
And that's the direct through line of like, yo, we may get a bag. All right, cool. Now we got $50K in talent budget. All right, community network. How can we lean in and support y'all?
Right.
But it is like, let's build the destination where everything's aggregated already. The brands, the creators. So like we can essentially help control and dictate that narrative as best as we can, because what we do know at anything is like, may not be perfect, but we are intentional.
Right.
Yeah. Like you literally, bro, you'll spend like 3 months chasing down a check from a brand. But yeah, to your points, like the intentions are definitely pure, my bad. But yeah, if you don't understand deal terms, then, you know, it's just one of those things where it takes a lot longer. So I think before it was like, all right, let's get it, and then we're going to disperse it. And now it's just like, nah, let's just bring everything to us. Yeah. And then that way it kind of all just like works in tandem. Like nobody's mad. You know what I'm saying? We could highlight who we want to highlight. We're telling the stories that we want to tell. And then like the brands and creators are just kind of like they're coexisting within this one community.
100%.
Do you feel like that's one of the hardest parts about being, I guess, a Black founder?
What part?
In media?
How so?
Just not being understood in terms of like community. And I heard, I feel like, I think Joe Budden said this. He was just like, he doesn't build his platform to like get on people's good side. Like he don't want to hang out with people. So like on his platform, he can tell whatever story he wants to tell. I feel like for community, we don't take that stance. And so it's like now you're trying to, please two masters, for lack of better words, especially as it relates to media, because like everything that you do, like everything is out there pretty much. It's like it's cameras at all time.
I definitely think that it's been like a life, and I think that's why I was like, I feel like one, we're building something for people I understand so well. I think that's like a big core identity of most people that align with the genre we're building for, is being misunderstood or mislabeled or mishandled in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And I think transparently is easier now to deal with, because one, I think when you when a part of your identity is being misunderstood, is like, yo, you literally move differently. And I think now being a founder in media, it's like compounded, because one, you're misunderstood because people just don't know what you're talking about. Like talking about gaming and esports and virtual. So like there's this inherent misunderstanding of like what you're trying to do. Yeah. But then it's like who you are beneath that, I think is different. Because when I look back at it, I was like, yo, everything that I've done is kind of like on a personal level, it's like mainstream adjacent. So it's like I went to the HBCU, but like you went to the HBCU that no one knows about. Yeah. It's like you're really good at basketball, but you played within the league that wasn't considered the competitive league. And it's like always like you're close, but not close enough. And I think this process has like just made this journey and understand like my own self so much, like give myself grace. Cause I'm like, yo, it is hard to be misunderstood. And you're building in a space where you're valuable, but people don't want to claim your value. Right. And it's something like you have to deal with directly and indirectly every single day. Or like someone knows that they should give you 250, but they may be like, yo, let's try and get them for 75.
Right. Yeah.
I think that also plays a part in being young too.
And maybe there's that part, right? Because, you know, something that's actually frustrating me right now is like the amount of people, personal and professional, I have to speak to that say, like, use this phrase like, do you understand? Or I don't think you understand. Because it's also attributed, I think, to like age and also the lack of understanding of what you've been doing the last 8 years of your life every single day.
Right.
Where I'm like, I'll be real with you, bro. There's not many circumstances that I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that from an arrogant, it's like, no, I actually hear you. We've lived it. We've tried it. We failed it. We succeeded at it.
Yeah.
I've either read about it. I have mentors that have told me about it. So like, I'll be real with you. So now what I'm struggling with, talking about like the person, is like brevity. Like being sometimes too direct. Yeah. Because it's like, you could be like, yo, Ryan, here's a problem. I'd be like, yo, you should just do this. I'm like, but you didn't hear me. I was like, respectfully, I don't need to hear you. Yeah. Because this is so close to the world that we're living in. And that's why people talk to us now. I mean, really, that's the only reason people talk to us is because like they're trying to get some insight or like some form or shape to like, yo, how did y'all do what y'all are doing? And I was like, yo, I appreciate it. I think you should do this. But I'm like, I'm being short.
Yeah.
I don't think it's short. I think it's the solution. But a lot of people don't realize that the solution is short. Like it's not this long, drawn out thing that you think it is. Like literally just put one foot in front of the other. Yeah. And I feel like to your point, there's a lot of like picking and probing around that, especially again, like being young. I don't know. I feel like we might have a way of just like simplifying shit where it's like it doesn't have to be that hard. Like life shouldn't be.
Yeah. I mean, probably like when you have the hours and years of like experience within it. And to me, I think what I see a lot of is like people will have like kind of like an idea of they've heard of something or they've had like a slight conceptual understanding of a space, right? And like this is kind of driving like maybe some inherent biases about the space, like how it works, right? So like maybe someone's not as well informed about gaming or esports, whatever it is, but like because they have come from the entertainment world or they heard about gaming in this way, right? Then it's like, oh, well, this is how it should be, right? But you know, what I'm assuming is just like, well, respectfully, we spent 8 years doing this, right? So how would you know?
It's not even just 8 years, bro. Like I was thinking about it, like, bro, I've thought about this every single day for 8 years. Yeah. And not even in concept and practice. Yeah. Like, I think that's a big difference maker. And also what changed for me personally is when I stopped thinking about this journey in terms of like what's easy and hard versus what's possible versus impossible. Yeah. And like understanding the nuance of like, all right, what we're doing respectfully is hard and life is hard in either direction. Like being good at something's really hard and like having to struggle with the consequences of being bad at something's really hard. So like playing an easy or hard, I think we're shortchanging ourselves. I'm like, yo, what is possible? And then what tangibly can we do with the resources and information that we have to like execute against that thing? And I think in that process over time, compounded over time, is where there begins to be a little bit more clarity in what is misunderstood. But I could say like it's been going on close to 4 years and I still don't think that there's a clear understanding of like who it is and what we are and what we do. And I think now starting here, moving forward, we have to do a better job because also to be fair, outside looking in, you have to make a lot of assumptions. Like you just is. And that's primarily because we're so focused on doing the work. There's very rare moments where we slow down and talk.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool you're giving grace to that's the outside and like kind of looking in, you know? Yeah. But I mean, I would say that I think it is still like kind of inherent, like this is my understanding, and I'm not going to take the time to like try to learn.
I don't think anyone gives a fuck.
People don't want to learn. Like you said, they don't really give a fuck, and they don't have to, right? Yeah. Like they get paid what they get paid, and they want to do something cool, and they want to, there's no one actually puts the level of care,
Yeah.
I feel like, into a lot of the projects. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's where a lot of the miscommunication comes from, and the you don't understand, because it's like, nah, you don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't care about all of that. Like,
Yeah.
just give me that.
Yeah.
You know, just do that thing that you did. Like, I don't
Right.
care about the grand vision. I think we're going through that right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to the point though, it's like having a vision for so long and then just figuring out what it is that you need to do to get to that vision. Because in the grand scheme of things, like, nobody knows anything. Right? Like, I always say, like, Elon Musk wasn't born knowing how to build a rocket. Like, he just found out how to build it. He wanted to go to space. He found out how to build a rocket, and he did it.
Yeah, I mean, he had, thousands of people who, like, the idea was that space from a private sector does not work. And, like, that's how 90% of people within that space thought about it. The private sector doesn't work. It will never work. No one will figure it out. And, I mean, they were close to not. Like, they blew up 3 rockets.
About to give up, yeah.
You know? And finally, the 4th one succeeded, and it was like, oh, wait a minute, I guess space from a private sector does work, right? And so, like, the whole, like, kind of paradigm shift of now you have tons of private sector space companies, right? So for, all of his flaws, like, I think that's one thing that I'd give him is, like, that he, basically catalyzed this space to turn into something. And space as, like, the space of doing space. But, like, without that, the prevailing opinion of space doesn't work from private sector would have stayed there, Yeah. And to what y'all mentioned before too, I think it seems interesting that there's, like, from the kind of outside, more traditional powers that be kind of, coming, like, looking down and trying to understand it. And then also from the community side, like, looking up, and trying to, like, you're kind of caught in the middle of those two.
Have to get everyone to understand.
Yeah, because they have their values and, their desires, and then obviously the same thing from this side, and, like, you've got to, like, kind of be in between trying to manage it, like, this is not the best analogy, but did y'all see the Sydney Sweeney jeans fiasco? Mm-hmm. So before it even popped off on LinkedIn, I saw somebody from the team, like, talking about it, right? They're like, we're launching this today. We asked Sydney, like, how wild she wanted to go, right? Because they want to lean into kind of, like, her owning sexuality and all this stuff, right? And then I get on TikTok and I see, American Eagle's dog whistling, racism and stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, like, this is jumped quite a bit. And I get back on LinkedIn, I see, people talking about racism, people talking about, just getting mad at the kind of sexual part of it, and I think number one, where they messed up, and I probably, for a lot more companies to kind of understand, is like, all right, if you're going to have this kind of campaign, have a lot more,
just have more people,
more models,
different shades.
Yeah. Get Coco Gauff, get somebody else to be a part of it. You're good, right? But I think it's always very interesting to me that, like, I'm gonna take them at face value. The person who posted about it, like, they were obviously leaning to kind of the sexual side of the campaign, but the audience read it as they are dog whistling racism, right? And to me, I was like, I don't think they're doing that. I think they were blind to, hey, we can't just have someone with blonde hair, blue eyes as our campaign. That's it in 2025. But I don't think they were intentionally dog whistling racism, right? But that, I think, is, like, where you get caught with as, like, the marketing agency in between.
I think we do a good job of making sure that we don't have those problems. I feel like you got to look at the room too. I mean, if everyone in the room has blonde hair and blue eyes, then sure, the person that they put on the forefront is gonna have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were dog whistling racism either. I do feel like as soon as that came out, I would have gotten Coco Gauff.
Be like, yo,
shit, just a black person off the street. You know what I'm saying, to come put these jeans on and say, I got good jeans too. But yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's like making, like, literally we will have a campaign where we're targeting the LGBTQ community. Like, I'm not a part of the community. Ryan's not a part of the community. So we need to bring somebody in that is.
Yeah.
And allow them to talk to that community, you know, in a more specific way because they get it. They understand the language and, you know, the culture and that whole thing. So yeah, we do a good job, I feel like, of making sure that everyone is represented. Representation matters.
And I remember specifically one time we were on Clubhouse and we were doing a whole talk with DTLR, a couple other people.
Yeah.
And I mean, shout out to this person, because I think, you know, they kind of are kind of like a leader in the queer community, but they kind of like came on a little bit strong with like, hey, like, why aren't you all doing this? Why aren't y'all doing that? You know, and like I was taken aback. So I was like, I mean, to be honest, this was still 2020, I think, at the time. I'm like, this is like months in existence, right? And like, I don't think you can necessarily expect that everyone's going to get everything right from the very beginning. You're gonna be like, hey, we're going to have every voice in the room. We're going to, you know, do everything, you know, the right, like, it just, you can't expect someone to do that. And, you know, again, I think that to me is like from the community side of like 100%, like we want to be like recognizing of all the different voices out there, all the different types of people. But like you have that kind of, you know, struggle come from that side as well to kind of to manage.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like I said, you don't always get it right.
Yeah.
Some shit do, you know, it's like the H&M monkey shirt, like those type of things, right? Like
that was
where you should just know. But yeah,
right.
No, I agree. I think, and again, that's why I think just media representation is so important. I mean, even looking at like Africa, right? Like if you look at Africa from what the media is telling you, like you're gonna think that it's a poor country, like flies flying around people, gnats, like they eat food, right? They like send money.
Yeah,
bro, Africa is gonna be one of the largest GDPs, I believe, in like the next decade. Or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, we've been to Nigeria. We did an event out there, and you know saw 7,000 people come together around gaming, anime, like literally the same thing that you would see in the States, like you're seeing in Africa, on the continent. And yeah, it was like 8,000 people across 13 countries on the continent that came together around gaming for one event for a day. But yeah, they don't show you that in the media. So like for us, it's like, how can we? I think we always wanted to be like good media.
Yeah.
Like tell good stories, tell stories that made sense, that highlighted our people in a way that, you know, what they see is what they can be. Yeah. Because I'm be real. That's why I asked you about League of Legends. Like I didn't even know that should exist until I think like when we started working with Riot Games. Yeah. And it's just like we didn't talk about, like we didn't play that game.
Right. I mean, it was because my brother went to UCF, which is I think the biggest school in the country. But PWI, and then he came back and was like, oh, they're playing this game. Yeah. Right? Because I'd seen World of Warcraft before, but like I'd never considered it as like I was never a person like I still really haven't seen Lord of the Rings. Right? Like I'm not like an elf, orc, you know, all this type person. So I never like considered that type of game as something I'd be interested in. And then my brother brings it back and was like, oh, like, you know, you should play this game. And I was like, all right, let me play it. And it was dope, you know? So I'm like, okay, we go from there. Right? But like, if we, you know, if he hadn't gone there, I don't know, like, I probably would have played once I got to going to Arizona, but like, it was kind of getting out of that, you know, just, I guess, thinking about like console only. And like, there's so much more from the PC side of things. And,
you're exposed to more.
Yeah.
After your brother went to college.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I feel like a good one, kind of like alongside this whole conversation, like, are there any brands, institutions that like really, you know, got it right from, let's say the community, the CXM like standpoint? If you had like a 5 checklist, like brands, institutions should be doing this, was there one that like hit all the marks?
Yeah, I mean, a majority of ones, because we get to like help influence how we show up or how they show up more or less in the spaces. So like shout out to all the HBCU esports brands from Verizon, like Discover, Nike, Hot Pockets, Mountain Dew. Outside of that, we've done some cool work with like Spotify, Xbox, DoorDash, Microsoft. You know, so like in those instances, it's always been creating programming, or they're buying into programming that we're doing that they know resonates kind of like within that community. And then again, as a part of these campaigns, we have a lot of influence on what talent shows up, like how the talent shows up, what they're talking about. So it's like there's only been a few times where I was like, things just absolutely went wrong, right?
Yeah.
I'm just leaving that where that is. And that was for various reasons, right? I mean, there just like I would say, like in dating and personal, like there's 100% misalignment in like corporate and business as well.
Yeah.
Right. Despite where you think things may go, who has money, who has not. Alignment matters in all walks of life is a very valuable lesson that I think we've learned. But no, man, I think I would say it's been an honor because I was like, even when you look at the logos, like our wall of logos, I was like, it lines up with big agencies that have been around for decades. Yeah. And I think to constitute, I think this whole idea of being misunderstood, I think for as much misunderstanding there is, I'm starting to find there is understanding. And I think the understandings and the proof of people that we've worked with, right? But if you were to line up all those names and logos, you know, you're talking under 20, 30. So at the end of the day, it's like you're talking still under 100 total people in the scope of like a community, right? Yeah. So it's like still kind of closing that gap is going to be really important, I think. But no, bro, I think a lot of people get it right. And I'm watching a lot of other people get it right with other people that aren't us. So like, it's cool to at least be a part of like, let me take a step back. We can actually say there was a point in time, probably 2019, 2020, where brands weren't spending with black gamers at all. Yeah. And so like now to even be like, yo, whether it's with us or with not with us is like, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's like, we were probably one of the first commercial, mainstream black owned gaming buys in North American history. Mm-hmm. Like if you were to look at, and I'm using the word intentionally commercial mainstream, because because there's other people that have done like sponsorships in gaming, but like in modern history, go on the internet. Like I challenge anyone to go on the internet. Like, so okay, prove me wrong, please prove me wrong, bro, please. Yeah. But like an actual black-owned league that ran for multiple years, that had 30 live broadcasts a year, that has given away over 7 figures worth of dollars back to black creators. Yeah. I was like, I think we own that. Yeah, 100%. For sure. Like, I'm pretty sure we own that. Yeah, like in the record books. Yeah. Like, look, we need to apply for Guinness.
I was about to say, Dalmar, you gotta.
Because then next thing you know, someone's gonna do it next year, and that's gonna be in the record books. And I'm gonna be 70 years old talking about, well, they stole my history. And right now, bro. Yeah. You gotta claim your history sometimes.
Exactly. That's why we're here, man. Dalmar, you gotta help us talk our shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, even like, I guess the question we did, and I think we had a lot of good programs, but I feel like my favorite, or one of my favorite, was with Mountain Dew. And that was like that was 2 years in a row. We did $500,000 prize pool for HBCU students playing the video game. Yeah, like for the first time ever, we did 2 of them back to back. And so like even like the last one, it was Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. There was 64 students. They competed, got down to 32. We brought those students out to Atlanta to compete live, put them up in a hotel. Like they had already gotten paid because it's $500,000. So the way we split it up is that you get paid if you play in that first round and you lose. So first of all, those students got, call it like $600 minimum. They also got an Xbox. They got the game, right? And then leading up to, you're still getting paid every single round of the tournament because we got all this money that we're trying to disperse to these students. Yeah. So yeah, man, we got all the way down to 32. Brought those students out to Atlanta. They get like red carpet treatment, right? Like picking up from the airport in an Uber Black, like, you know what I'm saying, black car, dropping them off at the hotel. They get food. They come to the studio. We eat. We had like Wayno. You had RDC World. You got Cleo Thomas. Like all their favorite, you know, celebs and influencers and creators. They're like casting, you know, these matches and hosting this tournament too. My favorite part about that though was at the end, the kid that won, Cleo Thomas was asking him, you know, like, what, you know, how do you feel? What are you gonna do with the money? Who motivated you? I think was the question that he asked, and the dude was like, he was like literally holding back tears, bro. He like, my mom. Yeah. For me, I'm like, damn. Yeah. Like we did it. Yeah. That's tough. Cause even like just growing up, y'all know, like as a young black boy, like your mom is everything, bro. Right. Like you just want to get what you can, as much as you can, to help your mom out. And we all had dads too, but mom was like it. Yeah. And so just to be able to like see that, and we're not talking like $1,000, bro. This is like, I think he got like $60,000, $70,000 just from playing Mortal Kombat for a month. And so that was like one of the brands that I feel like got it right. That was able to allow us to be ourselves and tap into Black creators. And there's also a docu-series that we have on YouTube too, that tells that whole story.
Yeah.
But that was one of my favorite brand partnerships that we did for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even from the outside looking at it, it it also looked like a lot more like premium, versus like let's say like when we were at Access Replay, right? And kind of showcasing like the kind of growth at that point in time of like putting on like, we've got the production, and obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know if there was like behind the scenes, right? Like, where production changes or whatever, but like from production standpoint, like all that stuff, right? It like seemed to have leveled up like considerably,
Yeah, we definitely took production quality up for sure. I think we took pride in that though. That was one of the things. Like we didn't want to just put on like a sloppy product. Like we probably could have, but we also invested a lot of money in our production too, and we provided a lot of jobs, bro.
Yeah,
a lot of jobs for a lot of people. Yeah, just through production alone.
Yeah,
honestly, for like 4 or 5 years straight. But production quality definitely went up.
Yeah,
that was good stuff. But no, so I mean, it's the league's still around. It looks way different.
Yeah.
In order to do it correctly, just having the right partner, especially from a platform perspective, is important. But still, activate the brand, and just trying to find more creative ways to stay engaged with the HBCU community, but also being focused on the larger Black gaming community and just multicultural gaming community too. So I think again, for the rest of this year, because one thing we haven't really talked about much also is like how we got involved with like Trap Sushi and kind of like what the Trap Sushi team is doing. But I was like, I would say from the middle of like May of 24 to like June of 25 was basically like a very slow period from us. Like we essentially pivoted from being like a gaming operator and like esports provider to a media and entertainment company. And so in that process, literally the team looks different. How we go and talk to brands looks different. And so that's what it was like. It's good to finally come out of like this year window and starting back to like engage with the community. So I was going to say like October 18th, like Trap Sushi's doing their first music and anime festival called Atlanta May. December the 10th, where, I mean, we haven't even fully announced, but we're going to be at Buckhead Theater for the kickback and like starting that process up. So it's good now as like we're out here and we have some other news that should be coming out kind of like towards the middle of September. That's going to like really reposition us to do everything that we said we just had. Everything we said for like last hour, just do it now times 2. Because one thing I will say is like the reason we were able to execute a lot of this early on is we were fortunate that Amazon and Twitch were like one of our go-to partners. And now we have another partner similar in that nature that's going to help us scale. But I was like, the biggest difference that I'm excited about is Twitch wasn't Black owned. This partner is.
Right.
And so I strongly believe that even in what we did accomplish in the first phase of this was amazing. I think there's still a lot of opportunity left on the table simply in, again, the misunderstanding of what the opportunity is presenting.
Yeah.
And again, certain alignment on being focused on profit versus being focused on community. I was like, I strongly believe that there's a world to satisfy both. And so I think in this second phase of what we're doing, like the fact that we have a partner that is Black owned, that has scale, that has reach, and provides similar opportunities, like I'm hoping in the next 3 to 5 years we give away $10 million. Like, want to put thousands of kids in jobs.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that now is going to be possible, and that's what's exciting, especially since moving from Atlanta out here to LA back in April of this year. Yeah.
Well, I feel like, do you feel like, well, let's talk about Trap Sushi. What is Trap Sushi? And why did Trap Sushi make sense for community?
I mean, I don't remember how I met Troop and Steph originally. What I do remember is that like in 2020 or 2021, my roommate in Atlanta, Marcus, was like, "Yo, I'm going to this thing." He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to this thing called Trap Sushi tonight." And even at the time, I saw it before on the social media, and I still didn't really understand.
Yeah.
And then even when my roommate Marcus had said it, I just like, cool. I'd probably stay home and play the game or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe Karima had did something. I saw it. It was probably the first time I looked. I was like, yo, they're doing exactly what we're doing, but in anime.
Right.
And I was like, there's different ways that I think I now fully understand that, like, the way you go to market the anime versus how you can go to market with gaming is just the communities are very similar, but it's interesting, like, the way you talk to them.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, instead of us trying to figure out how to get an anime, like, how do we work with Trap Sushi?
Yeah.
Like, they already have a dope brand, a dope name, a really dope community. They're growing and moving. We're growing and moving. So instead of us like trying to figure anime out, we invested in Trap Sushi. And so now, as a part of community holistically, you have kind of like gaming and esports. You have gaming culture, content creators, and music. And then you have anime, kind of like. And so as we're going out to brands and to the world, that is essentially like who we represent. We want to be the home of all things like Black alternative culture, gaming, music, pop culture, creator economy, anime, the whole nine. So one, I mean, that was the big thing. Is like no need to compete, where you can honestly cooperate. And I was like, a big part of, again, no pun, community is like, oh, we want to cooperate. I think, and also we have a lot of success stories of cooperating with people. Like, we're very transparent in our ability and willingness to collaborate.
Yeah.
Like right out the gate. I think figuring out sometimes it could be easier than not, but in the case of Trap Sushi, it was extremely easy. And shout out to the AJC who wrote a really dope article, like highlighting that partnership. But now our goal is, alongside with this new partner that we'll be talking about in the near future, is to continue to help Trap Sushi doing what they're doing, growing, scaling, working with brands, tapping into efficiencies, processes. And the thing we haven't talked about a lot is like, a lot of times people look at these collectives and they are really cool, and like there's big creators involved in them, and it like shiny lights and jewelry. Like, it's dope.
Yeah.
But in order for any of this to be successful, especially Black owned, we have to have like very strict processes and like how we execute and bring these things to life. Because until we have process that allow us to scale, we're just communities and we're just parties.
Yeah.
And I think building and creating that distinction, especially for Black owned companies, move into like this next phase of the entertainment industry, is going to be like really, really important. Like, don't allow the industry to just merely look at us as a vehicle to access community.
Right.
They need to look at us as investable assets and organizations that have process and procedures and policies and can actually execute in a meaningful way, versus them just showing up and doing urban nightlife.
I was just about to like Urban Nightlife.
I was watching the Urban Nightlife.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I watch Urban Nightlife every day.
and like, and so like that's where I'm like, it's so for us, for Trap Sushi, and again, a lot of this, I think we also like to say is like, I feel like we are somewhat blessed and privileged. I feel like there's a lot of things that work in our favor that aren't us directly in this process. And I'm like, yo, whatever resource or information that we learn or get tapped into, it's like, how can we share that with those that are close to us so we can all move in this direction at the same time?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I feel like there's, quite a wide opportunity alongside all these things, especially anime, gaming, the whole nine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interest. There's obviously a lot of interest just from like the Black community in general. I know like for Black men, like there's a relationship between like Black men and Dragon Ball Z growing up. Yeah. And so now like with groups like Trap Sushi, like you're able to actually tap into that thing. And so like just thinking about not having a place where you can, right? Like my first time going to TwitchCon, I was like, oh, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a different world. But then when I saw DreamCon, I'm like, oh shit, this is like this is real.
Yeah,
like
it's game changing.
It's 25,000 Black people here in cosplay, dressed in their favorite anime. Like I'm thinking I look cool because I got on cool clothes. But it's like, no, I'm actually not the cool person today. Right. Like at all. Yeah. I'm the opposite. And so there's again Megan Thee Stallion, for example, hosting like the anime awards with Crunchyroll. So like there's definitely a crossover. And I think to Ryan's point, like if we're not careful as brands in this space, it's very easy to be devalued by another brand per se, a brand devaluing the community in general because urban nightlife.
Right.
Versus like, oh, y'all actually have a community in the same way that I'm about to work with this brand or agency over here. I'm gonna work with y'all and kind of set you up the same way so that we can reach your audience in a way that's meaningful, more meaningful than a logo slap in like urban nightlife.
Yeah. Or saying this is like urban DreamHack or urban TwitchCon, right?
Yeah.
When like, you have so much buying power in this building, right?
Like Black at TwitchCon or like the Twitch Black Guild. It's like, no, let's not just allow ourselves to have a room in this larger convention center. Like, it's cool. Let's just do our own thing. Yeah. And so that's why I like groups like DreamCons. Shout out to them. Shout out to Steph and Troop at Trap Sushi. We just want to be the home for all of those things.
Yeah. And side note, have y'all seen Sonic 3?
No.
I haven't seen it.
It's the best Dragon Ball Z movie ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't get the reference. I need to watch it.
Yeah. And
I don't think I've seen any Sonic.
You haven't seen any? And also, it's like underrated and really good.
I believe it though. Like the kids' movies are always good. It's like you never like. There's a very, very rarely a bad like kids movie.
Yeah,
that's very true. I've watched a lot of them lately.
Oh yeah,
but that's true.
What's like the number one?
My favorite one is Inside Out.
Okay.
I just watched Encanto.
Encanto?
Yeah.
Encanto. Encanto. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of Cars, Pixar Cars.
Yeah, Cars up there. Nemo's like at the top for me.
Nemo.
Yeah.
Is Nemo a kids movie?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, there was like one kind of scary part with the Barracuda at the beginning, So, yeah.
But no, that's facts. They had great storylines.
Yeah.
And actually meaningful TV.
Right.
It's not like Love Island.
Yeah.
Did you watch Love Island, Dalmar?
No, I did not. I
thought you were about to say
out of it. No. There's only one reality show I ever watched, really, and that's Love Is Blind. Over like pandemic, got me into it because I think it's just a really strange concept. If y'all know about the concept, right? Of like
I know what the show is.
Yeah, basically like people like you have like a woman's side, men's side. They date, but there's like a wall in between them. So like you can't see the person you're talking to. And so it's supposed to like remove a lot of the barriers that people would normally get into the normal dating scene based on, height, weight, skin color, all those different things. And in ways, sometimes it works out. Like the first one they did in Atlanta, like they have like the a couple who's still together, like beloved by the community, all like that stuff. But you just get a lot of like, basically, after they like kind of meet, when they'll propose with the wall, then they'll meet each other, see each other for the first time, then they'll go to like Mexico for honeymoon, and that's where like stuff like goes out the window.
Gotcha.
Where like, some things are real, like some things are like, hey, I chose this person because I don't normally choose them, and then we get back to real life and I realize, hey, I actually don't want to choose differently, so yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We should make a show called Love Is Not Blind.
Love Is Not Blind. And what? They
It's
just
the same thing, and there's just no wall.
They just stay normally.
But that's Love Island, right?
You just like,
That's Love Island.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Love Is Blind gives people a chance because, like, it's like,
it's not about chance. It's about content, right?
Well,
Yeah,
it is about,
basically.
at the end of the day, it's about content.
Yeah.
But I mean, it like you don't choose someone based on how you look. So I guess that one little nugget in the game per se is like kudos.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I'm just saying. I want a show where it's all about looks.
Well, I think it's Love Island.
That's Love Island.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's no real difference in it.
There's no difference in any of this. There's a million of these shows on Netflix right now, and every week another one comes
Shit's
out.
gotta
And I don't know how
fry.
it's possible.
Yeah.
like I don't know how. There's another love game show.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I will say the one thing I thought was cool was Tash, if you had the video when they had it was like one anime fan versus one creator versus 20 anime fans with like it was like a dating thing. I think they had a video like that. It was
Who did that?
Trap Sushi.
Oh,
Oh,
talking
I
about
didn't hear what you
the-
said.
the
Oh
20
yeah, yeah.
I still didn't see it, but I didn't even hit the trap sushi part.
Talking about the 20v1.
Yeah.
But I like the classroom thing where they have like a gamer versus like, I think like Face Wagon them did it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a gamer versus someone that like hates
Yeah,
gaming, and they're
right.
like, well, why do you do this? And
They're like
well, why do you
rage
do what
baiting
you
them.
do?
They're
It's
like, yo, show me your bank account right now.
It's like, yeah, they're like, well, I'm a teacher. They're like, here's my bank account. Yeah, this is why they hate us.
Yeah. Because like they'll be like, no, this is gonna die for you. Like it's all gonna go away one day, you know. And like to me, again, like that was the 2005, 2006. Like it'll go away someday. Nowadays, it's like it's not going away.
What?
You know,
Gaming?
Gaming, streaming, just like the
Oh,
whole like
yeah,
you can
nah.
just
The content medium in general.
yeah, that this is long term. You know, from here.
Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be there's already a lot of AI content right now,
Yeah.
but yeah, it for human beings, as long as people do shit like this, then
Yeah,
it'll be there
yeah,
for a while. But as long as this,
yeah. Don't want to go into this.
we can.
That one right there.
I feel like we got to go back to the story.
So we're at May 2024, June 25. In that time period, Trap Sushi, right, comes into the fold. And now kind of the community going forward is across multiple things, collaboration.
We could definitely talk about the fact of like we had a team of 12 people. Like 12 full-time staff, like not immediately, but after the Twitch deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we had variety. Like we were working with 4 or 5 brands at a time, and that was just on HBCU esports. And then outside of that, we had like one-off projects that we might be doing with Nike or Hot Pockets or Honda, for example.
Yeah.
And so yeah, again, I guess for me, being young, 25, 26. I think 26, 27 at the time, with a team of 12.
Yeah.
Would you say everybody was older than us? Or not everybody. I think everybody except 3 people
Yeah.
were like older than us and had like corporate experience. And so like there's a lot of that too. This is just, I guess, like just learnings in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess don't hire too fast.
Yeah.
What do you think? You feel like you hired too fast?
Or, I mean, I would say like what I've seen observed is more of like there always is gonna be those like hindsight things, but you wouldn't know not to hire too fast if you didn't hire, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like to me, like what's most impressive from y'all is like just doing the things like Nexus community, right? And then learning from it, right? Because I feel like, you can read a lot of books about like, don't do this, do that. This is how this person did it. This is the mindset to have, all those different things. But like, it really comes down to like actually doing it and then learning from the doing it, you know?
I mean, that's probably the hardest. I don't want to say hard. That's one of the things about entrepreneurship that like a lot of people don't think about. I think for me, I didn't realize so many people that like ran businesses, especially people that we know, have full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea that people were working 9 to 5 and then like running these businesses and like showing up, at these events and stuff. And then a lot of the problems that they're telling us that they have, or at least for me, I'm just like, hey, you just don't have time.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But if you, but I also understand why you can't go all in. But that was one of the things that we did early on was like for 2 years, like we were broke.
Yeah, I mean that's what the burn the boat strategy or sink the boats.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, got to burn the boats. We was filing unemployment for 2 years. I lost my job. I guess going back to the earlier story, in COVID. I had just started working there probably 6 months. And then I remember I got like a furlough letter. And then, I don't know, I had text Ryan. And he was like, yo, congrats. Like, let's do this. Let's do this full time.
Right.
And so I'm like, all right, bet. Shit.
Yeah.
At the time, COVID was happening. A lot of people, federal government was spending a lot of money in unemployment. So like just doing that. And then we would literally at Access Replay, bro, for like 8 to 10 hours, Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just getting it in. And then at the time, it's like you don't realize it. But looking back on it, and again, I guess damn, now when people are like, yo, y'all are so young doing this, it's like,
Yeah,
like we was doing this shit for free.
Yeah.
This shit for 2 years,
Yeah.
for literally 6 days a week.
Right.
I remember it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started working in November 2018. That's my last corporate job.
November 2018.
Yeah, because I worked. That was like when I was in IT still, and I quit corporate to go back to school full time, and then I had a 2-month stint in like August of 2019 where I contracted at an agency. But like, so that's also was like when the COVID and that started, I'd already not been working for like a year. And when I say like not working, I mean just like not receiving like a W-2.
Yeah.
And so I remember that phase. It was interesting. So like now also, I guess to Chris's point, where he's like talking to people for me over this process has shifted as well. Because you start to recognize it's like a lot of times people can't actually do what they talk about. They're just maybe that there's something preventing them from taking like that next step.
Yeah.
It could be scared of not knowing how you're going to make money. I vividly remember it's funny too, is like in this process I haven't talked about like mentorship or whatever, but like I had my mentor still to this day, my boss at my last job, how people knew before I even, because I remember like a week before I left, he texted me, he's like, yo, are you getting ready to leave? And I don't know, it was just, and that's also now why it's like I can sense certain things in people and like trends, and I was like, yo, the same way I was identified. But I remember leaving, my mom was like, yo, what are you gonna do? I was like, at the time I was like, I knew I was gonna have a little bit of money because I had like student loans from going back to grad school. So that was like my year-long strategy. Was like take out as much student loans as you possibly can, like pay for your tuition and then figure out the rest kind of thing. And then come 2020, when it was like now the pandemic was here, nobody was really working. I was like, all right, cool. I can like full-time go into community, because even when I left corporate, community still hadn't started. That's when we were like literally just interning around downtown Atlanta trying to figure out like what was next. And so from like the end of 2018 to the start of 2020 was just like incubation period. Like observing, learning, networking, meeting people, trying to figure out what was next. And then 2020, we're like, all right, bet. And that's the thing, we keep saying pandemic. It was January 2020. So like there's actually no intention of going into this assuming that any of what took place with. So that's another thing. People are like, oh, y'all started in the pandemic. Like, well, sometimes I'll just run with it, but I'm like, very much let the record show. It shows like January 2020.
Fair. Yeah.
Right, because sometimes, because again, I think the demystification is like, oh, you guys just showed up out of nowhere. You know, it was the pandemic. You got HBCU money. You did this thing. I'm like, nah, bro. That's why like this backstory is important. This is long before. And the interest was long before there was available money to our community. Right. More or less.
Yeah, it's more like it was started and then there was the inflection moment just happened, right, of pandemic that was kind of the, y'all were, I guess what, to me, and I don't know if y'all agree or not, but like I feel like if you're at the right place a lot, the right moment comes, because you'll never know the moment, right, or the right time, but like if you're in the right place, the right time at some point shows up.
That's what they say that's what luck is. Opportunity meaning preparation. So like now, and that's what happened. Like I didn't know George Floyd was going to get killed. I didn't know people were going to care about HBCUs. Right. But then all those things happen, and then there's no sports, music, whatever. And then just so happens that you're the one black-owned HBCU gaming thing.
Whole time we're just like, I bet my school could beat your school in college.
Like, and they were like, all right, bet. So now fast forward is like legitimate 5 years, going on 6 years of like not just theory, like practice, work, delivery, execution, and like where we are now. On the media side of the business, just launched this partnership. Well, secured funding and launched a partnership with Live Nation Urban as like the major next step of like what we're building out. And so I think going back to the earlier point of like this whole idea of being misunderstood and not having alignment, I was like, what I think now is like meeting the Live Nation Urban team is like the first time probably like 8 years I feel like, yo, people get it. and they get me more importantly than it.
Yep.
And I was like talking to someone every day that has like the same thoughts, but already now like 15 steps ahead, and the ability to like bring something to life is super dope. But I was like, that is essentially now where we are. We took this year to kind of pivot, had to get everything correct internally while we're still externally working on projects, still doing Trap Sushi in Houston, working with brands and whatever. I did the event at DreamCon in Houston, but on the background, like trying to piece together like what is like our actual next play, what is the next move, and just now really excited to say like that is it, and we're gonna be teaming up with Live Nation Urban specifically to like amplify not only gaming but media experiences, access for creators, scaling opportunities with brands moving forward.
Yeah, it's almost like a breath of fresh air in a way too. Because now, to your point, like even when like Ryan will call me and be like, "Yo, I just got off the phone. Yeah, this is what you're thinking." I'm like, it's fucking finally, bro.
Right.
Somebody gets us. You know what I'm saying? Like people understand where we are, where we coming from, and so that's cool. And I think even like we've worked with a lot of people in the industry, and you know now you have like you said, like a Black-owned brand that is trying to do the same thing. Even like being on like, it's just it's so far so good.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. Like when you're a Black founder, I'll say specifically like entertainment and then like media on top of that versus like, I guess also same for tech is like, you think about like what's next. Like the idea is like, if I was never, or like collectively we were never involved, I would still like the organization to still be Black owned. I think that's like really, really important. But you start to recognize as you move further and further up that there's actually not that many people to buy. Right. And when you say buy, is not as far as like a transaction, but like buy and keep something moving along. And so when we literally were doing the research, bro, you have like Essence Media Group and Sundown Media in one half, and Richard Lou Dennis. You have Byron Allen. And people don't even know that the Weather Channel is owned by a Black man. I think that's an important fact.
I know that.
Byron Allen Media Group owns the Weather Channel, just as an example. And you have others like Black Enterprise, but like when we're thinking about like, how do we, because again, we just didn't want to check and we just didn't want to create making content. Like what's important to us is physically bringing people together. Yeah. So it was like, damn, we were able to meet the Live Nation Urban team probably like last September, October. Ended up speaking. One of the festivals that they manage is Louisiana Fest. So like Lil Wayne's annual festival they manage. But as a part of that festival last year, they had a college summit. So as a part of the college summit, they had a gaming panel, spoke on the gaming panel, and that's kind of like the introduction to their team. And in the process of the panel, or like afterwards, I'm like, I don't know if this makes sense. I could imagine that y'all would probably want to be the leader. Y'all are already the leading entertainment company. I would assume that you want to take on gaming, anime, like these new spaces as they're coming about. Yeah. And transparently, we're trying to scale our live events. Yeah. And then it took 6, 7, 8 months, got everything done. So now moving forward, even when we announce things like the kickback in December, Live Nation Urban is going to be like, they're a partner out the door. Yeah. So like, it is exciting. It allows us also a lot of the troubles we were having before, right? Planning. Like I can plan my events out all the way to the end of next year because I can get access to a venue. Well, people don't know when you're a Black owned small promoter entertainment company, people won't even let you book their venues. Yeah. Bro, like, especially so you talk about like the challenges of like literally they'll be like, or if they let you book your venue, they like, yo, what's the genre of hip hop? All right, well, instead of $2 million, you need a $5 million insurance policy.
Hip hop fee.
Damn.
Like these are like urban real. Fee. These are like real. The urban fee, urban nightlife fee, the tax. Yeah. And I'm like tax. Being able to remove a lot of those barriers. People don't understand. Like those two things alone allows a Black-owned business to be more effective in their planning and to have a lot of the details that we usually complain about at Black-owned events that aren't thought through. You can think through them because now you're 6 months ahead of something versus 6 weeks. Yeah. And so that's what I'm like personally excited about and just figuring it all out. So shout out to their team. We're beyond thankful and grateful. I know this is literally just getting started, but I'm like, some of the stuff we're already talking about, programming that we're already about to introduce. Like, give me an example. We're a part of this larger pie now. Just last week that we have HBCU Esports League. Like we can clearly say in our space, we've given the most money in this country to HBCUs in gaming without a question. I swear someone challenge me on that. No,
Right.
we go bar for bar on that all day long, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? Last week, they just announced HBCU Aware Fest. Live Nation Urban did, right? That is in partnership with the Student Freedom Initiative. That is ran by Robert Smith, the richest black man in North America. So now when I'm like, all right, bro, I don't have to spend as much time trying to figure things out about how we're going to get to where we're going to get to. Is now it's like, yo, how can we be and how are we as effective as possible? Because the effectiveness of this stage only is going to open up more doors for those that we're trying to create opportunities for and trying to pass dollars to.
Yeah.
So I think that's now is like the next iteration of who we are and where we're going to be doing over the next few years.
Yeah. And even like for the 6 to 7 months, like you said, of meeting Live Nation Urban to like now with like Ink Dry, like that was probably some of the toughest 6 to 7 months of our lives in a way. But yeah, I don't know. Randomly said that, but I think that's part of, again, going back to like the entrepreneurial journey of like you have a vision. So like, yeah, like you don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a vision and you just find a way to make it possible. Like there's a lot of flights going back and forth to just meet one person. You might fly. I've done maybe in the last 3 years like 5 in and out trips to LA.
Yeah.
Like no sleep. Like
Right.
I might have laid in WeWork on the couch for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
To get back up. But I mean, that's just what it takes in terms of just like, you know, getting these things done, getting these things across the finish line. But for this one, it was like extremely important because to Ryan's point from the very beginning, it was just like they understood us, we understood them.
Yeah.
And I think we always understood ourselves. It's like just trying to find somebody that understands you. And that's like the most frustrating things in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone that gets the community and someone that gets the business. Like it's the win. That's the winning scenario. I think that like, yo, if we're going to take money from anyone, because I'll be real with you, people have offered us money before and they've offered investment capital before. Say no to it because of like transparently, I'm not just interested in getting money, bro. I'm interested in like things that make sense.
Right.
And I was like, even without the money, it made sense. So with it, like, yo, I think we could literally build a formidable plan. And if done correctly, without question, Community CXM could be a top contender in this country when it comes to youth engagement and youth culture and providing access and opportunity and then leveraging all of that media and entertainment and interest to then leverage our foundation to continue giving out scholarships and getting people that look like us but younger interested in information about how they can be a part of this. Like my homie out of Atlanta, Neo, he's big influencer, does a whole bunch of stuff. He does like these weekly sessions with like 20 kids. I just did it not too long ago, bro. When again, it's the same reaction over and over again. Bro, what? You make money in gaming?
Yeah.
Wait, bro, you build stuff in Fortnite, yo? How do I do that? And then like, I'm like, yo, this is a huge, huge moment for our community, and now just be able to do that over and over again. Like even recently, because of Live Nation's relationships, we just activated maybe not the first. Let's not go down that route again. We activated what is the first consumer-facing gaming lounge at BET weekend.
Okay.
Right? Because Live Nation's producing the weekend. We get brought in. Now we're doing gaming at another level. We're talking about it in a different format in different spaces. And so like that's what I'm most excited and honestly just thankful that we made it here. Because like when you look at it, it's almost like we were selected for this moment.
Yeah.
It's almost like the second time in 5 years we were selected for a moment. The first time was COVID and George Floyd. There was a moment. This time is like the reintroduction of black entertainment. BET is going down. Essence is having challenges. Like the industry is like, yo, what is next gen black entertainment?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is another moment, and we're very thankful to be able to play a part in it as we have like the first go around. Like it's cool. I'll say that much.
Yeah, for sure. You feel like that's one of the things you're most proud of?
I think it's probably one of the best things. I think it's probably one of the things that confirms that starting I say 8 years ago because that's formal, but like, I don't know if I've ever told y'all this, bro. Like, I think my biggest issue my whole life is that I was scared to put it out there.
Yeah.
And I think what this confirmed is that you should have been putting it out there like a lot longer. And I'd say because like Yeah, I have a YouTube channel from 17 years ago where I had, again, Counter-Strike gameplay. I put funny enough, Cameron lyrics on top of it because it's like gaming and hip hop was like important to me. I have Halo clips of the same thing, but I never went down that route because it was weird. It wasn't cool. Like I didn't know how to socialize that in a setting, so I let it be. But now, like fast forward is like, bro, you literally were just selected by the world's leading entertainment company specifically to do what you're doing to connect to your audience. I was like, damn, bro, like 17 years ago, like it was very like a calming process. I was like, yo, maybe you could chill out a little bit.
Yeah, fair.
Like give yourself some like grace.
Yeah.
It just took a while. And I was like, and to be fair, right? It was like, if you were to be a professional athlete, it's like the same time frame. It's like a 17, 18-year journey to like see a real return on like that, like mental thought and weight. I was like, and that's what this moment kind of like represented for me personally. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's another reason why it's important to put that out there too, because there are a lot of black kids that just want to start their own business. But to your point, like even as a parent, like the thing that you're pushing for the most is the extracurricular activities or the sport. So like you'll take your kids to football practice. One of my boys was talking about this too. There's like an epidemic of like just trainers now, like more specifically like trainers for specific positions for like specific things. But as parents, we spend a lot of money, or I guess our parents spent a lot of money on that. Yeah. But like the minute you want to start a business, it's like you're nuts. Yeah. Like, you're crazy. Like what does that mean? You know what I'm saying? They don't understand. And so there needs to be more people like, I'm gonna say like us. Yeah. That's putting our stuff out there. I was pulling up this post when you said that because I was reading it yesterday on the plane. It said, refusing to promote yourself is not humility, it's self-sabotage. And I felt like that for the last, like you said, like 3 years of like, bro, all this stuff that we did, right? Like we took kids to the red carpet. It was purple, but the red carpet world premiere of Space Jam. Like they're literally playing the video game on the red carpet. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like they're meeting LeBron James and Mav Carter and like Terry Crews and, you know, all these celebrities. But like, we did that. Right. Yeah. And so like nobody knows because we haven't necessarily put it out there. But like you might hear some bad things. Everybody has something bad to say, but like it's up to us to tell, you know, all the good that we do. So I think one, in terms of just being able to like inspire younger entrepreneurs and people that want to start a business. And then two, it's like, bro, if you don't put it out there, like the shit probably didn't happen. Right. Like it's not believable. Right. And that's another, I guess, frustrating part of entrepreneurship too. Cause like the shit that happens on a daily basis, like Ryan might call me and tell me something. I have absolutely nobody to tell that would believe it. Right. Yeah. Like that would believe like this just happened. Like, yo, this person just called and they want to do this and they have X amount of money. And it's like, damn. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah. You would wish like that the good operators would just get shine from being good operators and from actually doing the things. Yeah. No, but it's, you know, don't work like that. And it's the thing that, you know, I won't get like mad at it, but I'll like see it like on LinkedIn, someone posting something. It was just like, I don't know, cheat on everything AI app, you know, that I think is just like, it's like, not as like a bad idea necessarily. It's just like, why are we doing this? You know, but like they're getting 15 mil from A16Z, right? And like they made a post about how they had this viral post go out on Twitter. And I'm like, it's not a part of your business. Like you're just saying, you're hyping yourselves up that you created this like stupid thing to like cheat on a date. And then a lot of people on Twitter viewed it. So now you get hyped up. Now people were like in the comments, like blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. Like I really wanted to type L Glaze on it, but I didn't. But like that's the whole thing was just like, because they're, you know, promoting it. Now there's thousands of people on LinkedIn who are like, oh, like I want to invest. Like this is great, hyping it up, right? And to me, it's all promoting a shit idea that shouldn't exist.
Well, that's what unfortunately, like where we are now is a lot of people have money, and a lot of people have to spend the money, and there's good ideas, there's bad ones. Yeah. It's just money exchange and transfers, and you just have to figure out as an individual and as a professional, like how and where do you fit into that world if it's of interest to you at all. Yeah. Like that's really what it is a lot of money gets spent on bad ideas all the time
Yeah.
because it's not bad to other people, right? And that's where it's like this whole idea of like subjectivity and like, who is valuable and who's is not valuable.
Yeah.
Then you get caught up in that a lot. And I think I spent a lot of time there. Like, are we valuable? Are we not? And then you just got to remember like why you're doing what you're doing and to kind of stick to that. But like, I'm with you, bro. Like, it sucks when you see someone, right, from your POV not deserving, like receive something, or also someone who may have did something that's actually less impactful than you, get more praise for something that you do something that's more impactful, but is overlooked.
Yeah.
Because they may be larger on a platform, but your work may be larger in life.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like our imbalance. Like our individual platforms are significantly smaller than the work that we do. So the work that you do can't be that vast.
Yeah.
So like, that's kind of like the dichotomy. Like the only way it would make sense if like we were like these Andrew Tate, like, bro, we're the alpha males, bro. And we run gaming and you can't see me. And I'm like, bro, I'm not about to do that. But what I also have recognized is like, we're kind of like perpetual losers, bro. And I say that, let me tell you this, because it's like, gamers are already overlooked.
Yeah.
Anime and cosplay is like overlooked, and that was lame.
Yeah.
But then it became cool.
Yeah.
So now those people are cool. But we don't do those things that are cool. We do the lame stuff even in the new cool space.
Yeah.
Like, we're behind the desk and like building campaigns.
Yeah.
Promoting the cool people that are like that were the nerds. So it's like, damn, bro, even in this aspiration of like being cool, is like we're still going to be like the least appreciated people.
Oh yeah,
in everything that we do for like the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's like constantly, and I think for a long time that was a problem. But I think just understanding value again, that's why I led with what I said is important, because although you may not get the light, the value isn't changing, right? And I think again, if we do our jobs correctly, people probably will actually remain to not know who we are.
Yeah.
Because everything that we do will be significantly larger than our individual names.
Yeah.
So like it would be hard. I'll be real with you. Like I think I would be competing. It would be a hard competition for like Ryan the individual to like outshine Ryan's work and performance. Like I don't even want to run that race.
Yeah, that's fair.
myself.
That's fair. It's a good way to look at it.
yeah. Dude,
It's like I would have to I would have to overcompensate to make up for the things that we're doing in reality. And like that's what I'm saying. Is like I would basically have to become like a head ass. Like I would be like Ryan breaks Twitch setup today. Like have to do such like grandiose things that actually would drive interest. And I like, or maybe we just slowly get there through this conversation.
Yeah,
I think where's mad chill.
Yeah,
right. I think you slowly get there through this conversation because again, like you said,
as we slowly
like
get there, the work's still getting bigger.
Right. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, then I think it's more of like a thing of like just documenting it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now. It's like, funny enough, one of my good friends, he knows who he is, shout out to Atlanta. He's like, your nickname should be Hips. And I was like, I didn't get it at first, but he was like,
Hips.
like hit it in plain sight. And I was like,
okay.
I actually want that to be a part of my identity.
Yeah.
I just can't have that. I try to make that my Instagram, and every spelling variation is taken. But that's like the identity that if in fact we adopt in turn, like I think honestly it wins because again the focus shouldn't be. I think again if the focus is on us, that's where we lose the community.
Yeah.
Because everyone like you get caught in the sauce. It's like, yo, who are these guys doing it for? But as long as the work and the output continues to be there and people are still being able to benefit, like the goal is that we're not outshining the thing that we created. Like that's always been something like I've been really big on.
Yeah.
So it was like self-deprecation or like it's against yourself, but I just never wanted to be the person that we talked about where it's like, yo, you're always like front and center and the thing's actually about you and not the thing that you're building.
Yeah. I'll say that's great. I never thought about that, but I think for most people, right, unless you like want to be famous, right, like the goal, your work should outshine you because then like if it does, then that's great, you know, like
You won.
Yeah.
But that's not the goal of what everyone is at in today's age.
Yeah. Especially like in this attention world where like
everyone's the
you
main
can get
character right
more,
now.
you know, value and money because you are outshining your work. And then like, you know,
Like
Yeah.
I'll be real with you. Like I was always my mindset was like, if in fact a real opportunity presents itself, I want it to be based on the fact that real work was done and
Yeah.
not that perceived value was created.
Yeah.
It's like you see a lot of people stepping into like, I'm watching, bro. Like I see friends go from 5K to like 50K.
Yeah.
And like you're seeing the difference in the rooms that they're in. But like what I know for a fact is like, yo, no human, you can't advance that much on a personal, deep professional level when you're leading with the social. So like I just want to ensure that if a Live Nation Urban approaches us, that like, yo, we're standing on what we're saying as cements. We have, I think that's why the deal got done, bro. It's not like conceptual. It's like, yo, we did this. Here's the example. Here's our partners. Yo, here's actually how we work with Live Nation, your partner, right? With Rolling Loud. And so that's where it's like Juice World Day. All that stuff now added up is what makes up your value.
Right.
And I think now as we're continuing to build that value, it's just really about ensuring that we're disseminating the story so people actually have some understanding, or let me say, I don't want to assume that they don't understand, a better understanding of like who we are and why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much sums it up. I think that's the most important thing, because it's not that we would be front and center or even want to be front and center. I've never thought about like being a celebrity like myself. Never want to really be famous. But yeah, I think just going back to what Ryan said, like just figuring out a way to highlight the community through, like highlight the work. Like you're the person that's doing the work, but you don't have to be front. Like you're not doing the work for you. Like none of this shit has ever been about us. Like we literally have paid everybody more than we've ever like paid ourselves. And so it's just like finding a way to show the work that you're doing for the community, but most importantly, the why.
That's what I said. Like I said, what's the most thing you're most proud of? I was literally going to say that I've given more than I've received.
Oh my gosh.
I can genuinely say in this process, from a nonprofit and for-profit lens, I have given away significantly more than we have ever received. And I think looking back at it, I think one, things could have been done a little bit differently in a different time, because it's really weird. I also now learn when you give away so much so fast, it also kind of creates resentment if you can't keep it up in the same pace. So I, looking back, the one thing I wish was like we gave the same amount, but like we just paced it out a little bit differently. But I was like, yo, that is the truth, and I want that to remain true. And I think if we keep doing the things that the way that we have been doing them, it will. Thankfully, we get to live off of doing this, right? And get to do it all day, every day, in the way that we want to do it and prefer to do it. But also want to ensure that we still have grants, we still have scholarships, we're still creating programming, we still want to ensure that Black talent's getting paid fair wages, that they're not being undervalued or devalued. And so, yeah, bro, that's where we are. Just excited to see where everything's gonna go over the next few. I was gonna say something to definitely look forward to is, especially when we talk about the future of Black entertainment, you know, Cxm.co or CmmunityMedia.co. You know, that is going to be where you find us, right? So stories, news, announcements, events. Cxm.co will be the home of all things culture as it relates to these genres. So when Megan Thee Stallion is doing the Anime Awards, or Denzel Curry's performing at Comic-Con, or if Ocho Cinco gets a new streaming concept, or if Black Boy Max drops a new album, right? Like we're going to be the home for all of that. And I think a very simple way to look at it is like a complex model, right? We'll have content series, we'll have .com, we'll have annual events being like the Kickback and HBCU esports, but also ultimately what we are going to become is like a destination. So if you're at your home board, you're like, yo, what's the latest in the things I care about? Like we want to be that first thought that you go to moving forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would say, just to sum that up, pretty much like I feel like the biggest thing to expect from community in the next 12 months is just like the new face of Black entertainment in general across the board.
For sure. Yeah. Short and sweet.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is all a part of commentary, so they know where to find us.
Yeah, true.
They know.
Shout out to Commentary. Shout out to Dalmar. Dalmar was here very early on with us.
Yeah.
Helped us out with some projects.
Yeah, early on in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Shout out to Access Replay.
Yeah. Good times, man. Well, look, we're actually about to hit our time.
Yeah. How do we want to... Oh, we can do the carve outs again. So carve outs just like doesn't have the associated with anything we just talked about. So like for example, I'd say I started reading President Obama's book that he wrote right after the presidency, and like it's dope to kind of get from like a personal standpoint, like his thought process of like, oh, I'm running for state senator in Illinois, and then somehow turning into president.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for anyone who has read the book. It does not seem like he originally, that was a plan. It was like, at one point, Michelle was like, I'm done with this. Mm-hmm. You got to go back to being a lawyer. And he was like, sure, I'll do that. And then everything changed.
Of the United States.
Yeah.
So Carve Out is what, like a...
Could be like a movie you've seen,
So it's not a movie I've seen. I took a picture yesterday. Mm-hmm. When I got to LA, this dude, y'all got the robots, the delivery robots. So this dude was just walking, bro. He just like smacked the robot. It's on 4 wheels and it's on 2.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of like the robot laying face down, and like he was like standing in front of it. Yeah. And Terrell from Live Nation had hit me up in the DMs, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is a great picture, like the juxtaposition of AI and humans."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Damn!" And so just like I've been reading a lot on AI, but yeah, in the next decade, there's projected to be like 15 million humanoids that's like walking amongst us. So like, think about the robot on wheels. These things are gonna have like legs and arms.
What do they call them in? What they say we're supposed to call them? The clankers.
Clankers?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that.
I hear none.
Yeah. But no, so like just thinking about now part of this story that I'm writing, it's gonna be a much longer story. I don't know how it's gonna come out, but it's gonna come out. But it's kind of like what to look forward to. It probably needs to come out in the next year or two. But what to look forward to, bro, in the next decade.
Yeah.
There's like AI is about to eliminate apparently the middle class.
Yeah.
So like just thinking about those things, like I don't know what y'all parents do, but like my parents is I don't know. Like, if this does happen, a lot of people are gonna be cooked.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so yeah, I'm like making that my business to try and incorporate these things as much as we can, obviously in community, but then where we can, just in people in general. So really diving into tech too, especially as it relates to Black media, the Black community. For community, you're probably not gonna see a dating show. Like you're not gonna see. We're not talking about beef.
Yeah.
Like we literally are trying to help people.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's my carve out. But I thought that was dope. So now I'm like writing a story about how humans and AI potentially are about to coexist.
Yeah.
On this earth, this floating rock.
Yeah. I'm gonna get canceled in 10 years for saying clanker, by the way.
I know.
Canceled by the humanoids. Get that out. Matter of fact, while we at it. Yeah, I didn't say that word.
Yeah, for me, it's easy. The Battlefield 6 beta. So
yeah,
going back to that this weekend.
Okay. Yeah.
Did that last weekend, doing it this weekend. That's about it, bro.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna change my carve out because you said that. Mine is Baldur's Gate 3. So I know I said I wasn't into the whole Lord of the Rings thing. This is like very like Middle Earth orcs and elves and stuff. It is like one of the best games I've played. Really? It's like RPG story, like very narrative driven. So like you go into cutscenes all the time. You have to choose like what to say, and like it's unmatched right now.
Yeah. What's the I guess quote unquote nerdiest thing y'all have ever done in your life?
Ever done,
or like outside looking in would be the lamest thing.
I was an assistant at the library.
Wait, when was this?
This is what I was like in middle school, high school.
At the public library.
At the public library, yeah.
Were you getting paid?
No, my dad would just like during the summer he worked out every day, so he'd like drop me off at the library and my brother, and we just had to like put books back.
I was like volunteer type thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but you played, I guess depending on who you ask, you played League of Legends.
Yeah. So at that time, yeah, not that cool.
What about you?
I don't know. I mean, like by the standard of society, like collecting Pokemon cards or like I had to play the clarinet for 1 year.
That's
not nerdy though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the nerds played clarinet.
Okay.
Definitely played clarinet.
I only did it because you had to, for 1 year at our school, you had to play in the band.
Yeah.
My mom just had a clarinet.
Yeah.
so I was like, I played that joke.
Yeah. I just remembered when I was doing the librarian thing, this other lady would like volunteer. She was like older lady. And she was like, oh, I was listening to like the radio this morning. They're talking about evolution, blah, blah, this, that, and the third. She like grabs this book with a chimpanzee. She's like, do I look like this monkey? She's white, by the way. And I was like, yes, like you look exactly like that.
Wait, you said that too?
Yeah. Like, I'm like, what are you talking about?
That's crazy.
But she would do this like every time we'd come in. She had some thing she was going off on.
Did she work there?
No, she's just like a volunteer too. But I'm like, you don't see that like we like humans look very similar to this chimpanzee. Yeah.
I would like to talk to you more about this. I think mine is Beyblades.
Okay.
Yeah, I was big into Beyblades and like it was elementary school, 5th grade actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to play at recess under the slide and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't realize that until we started Cxmmunity.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's some pretty
For sure.
things that would be considered nerdy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean,
About to get out of here.
yeah.
All right, y'all.
Let's get it.
We'll catch you. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. See you next week on Commentary. We out.
Peace.